I am embarrassed by this. I am at times humiliated to stand up and talk about this.
But Kate Kleiner does stand up and talk about what happened to her. She has testified before the Senate in Washington and been to the White House. She has appeared on the Tamron Hall show.
I am a victim of a criminal.
She has quite a story to tell to other victims of romance scams. After Bernie, her husband of 26 years, passed away in 2009, Kate slowly adjusted to life as a widow.
But I didn't go out looking for another relationship. It kind of found me.
A handsome doctor named Tony reached out to her on Facebook, where Kate's profile identified her as a widow.
He sent me a friend request. He was very handsome, dressed in his white coat, the doctor coat with his name embroidered on the pocket and what have you.
Tony claimed to be a surgeon working for the United Nations in the Middle East. Kate says he started getting romantic early on, but she pushed back. He sent Kate many messages like this during the COVID pandemic. But despite these messages, the scammer did not ask for money right away.
It was several months, which might seem surprising, but because it was several months, I had grown to trust him.
But when he did ask for the money, Kate responded, and it cost her everything she had.
$39,000. Losing the money was devastating, but losing that love was heartbreaking.
But the damage to Kate's life was not done. After losing everything, Kate did not have the money to repair her air conditioner. A portable air conditioner connected with an extension cord caught fire, and her home burned to the ground in July of 2022. She escaped, but her 6 dogs did not.
I don't want someone else to have that experience.
So instead of shrinking into silence, as the victims of romance scams often do, Kate has turned her pain inside out, creating a project called Kate's Hug.
Something warm to wrap around themselves when this has happened, and for them to know that they're not alone.
Kate, along with a growing number of volunteers, are creating blankets for these hug kits and including a list of resources and a letter for victims of romance scams. The kits are then delivered to police departments in the Susquehanna Valley.
They're very receptive. The blanket kit does not cost the police force anything. They're being donated, and then we're asking that the police would give the kit to a victim when they come across one.
When Kate can hand a hug kit directly to a romance scam victim, she knows her efforts are worthwhile.
Most of them cry because I've touched them where they're hurting. They understand, both found someone who understands what they're going through.
Folks, I've talked to many romance scam victims over the years. In fact, I talked to 2 more today. Almost all of them were too embarrassed to tell their stories publicly. Many won't even tell their own families they have been scammed out of embarrassment. And that's why Kate Kleiner should be commended for her courage in opening up and telling her story in order to help others. Kate told me that as her Hug project has grown, volunteers have actually come forward to help her quilt and knit these blankets. Yeah. And so if anyone out there would like to help out, she's accepting volunteers, and she's also accepting yarn if you'd like to help make those.
I bet she's going to get a lot of donations now, but yeah, kudos to her for coming out and speaking about this, because so many people, as you mentioned, don't.
How does she find the victims to kind of do this?
It's a really tight-knit community, Jerry. Again, they don't talk to the public. They won't go public with this, but most of the time it's through other police departments and through other people telling them. By the way, I should mention, if you do want to volunteer, donate some yarn, you can do that through my Facebook page. Right. But that's very commendable. I know
this is the one scam you hate the most. I know.
You guys know.
When
I talk to people on the phone about this, it really, really bothers me.
Absolutely. Yeah.